Wow, amazing. All right, this is the episode where I show you how to make easy recipes that are under 10 minutes. Yes, it can be done. Yes, they're quick. Yes, they're delicious. Yes, they're simple. Only using ingredients that you have probably in your house already. Mainly because I'm really getting tired of cooking. I love cooking. It's fun. It's amazing. But I cook for my job, and then I also have to eat outside of that. So I've been going to like a couple go-to recipes that are less than 10 minutes just because I can't be bothered and I want minimal cleanup. So I'm going to show you how to make those today. The first recipe I'm going to show you how to make is a naan pizza that you can make in your air fryer. I mean, you can make it in the oven if you want, but if you have an air fryer, make it in there. It's a lot easier. The second one is a easy, simple, delicious Frito pie for when you're feeling super indulgent and snacky all this, like it's like a meal and a snack all at the same time. And then the third one is a super simple, super easy, really weird ramen salad. All right, so my naan pizza, I of course have some naan. For the pizza base, I always have tomato paste in my fridge. So I'm just going to use that to make a quick like tomato sauce. I'm going to cover it with some sausage and cheese and then just cook it in the air fryer. Really easy. Adding a bit of water to the tomato paste, Italian seasoning and some garlic powder. This is like a small, like pared down version of how I would usually make like a pizza sauce with tomato paste. But if you're just cooking for yourself, I mean, this is nice and quick, simple. You can also add some oil in here if you want, but for the sake of time, and because there will be fat in the cheese, I'm just going to do it like this. Some days I will decide to be a bit more over the top with it, and other days not so much. So, and if you don't have access to naan, you can always use like pita bread, or I mean, you can even do this with like store-bought pizza dough. If you wanted to actually make dough for your pizza, you can do that in the air fryer as well. And then add your sausage or veggie pepperoni or whatever toppings that you want. I had some sausage in the fridge that needed to get used up. These are great for any sort of like leftovers you have in the fridge as well. Sometimes they'll just have like random chopped onion or like a couple mushrooms or like some vegetables left over from the night before that were roasted, and that really goes well on pizza. So also use this stuff in your fridge. And then cheese, of course. This is also a great way to use up any like leftover cheese sauce that you might have. I make like a queso dip like type of sauce at least a couple times a week. So I then have to figure out, you know, different dishes to use that on, and this is a nice way as well. And then you pop it into the air fryer, 375 for 5 minutes. If you're doing this in the oven, just do like 425 for like the same-ish 5 minutes. You can do like 5 to 8 in the oven. It's a great like dorm snack too, I guess. I mean, are people going back to school at this point? I don't know. But it's a good like work from home snack too if you just need like a really quick lunch because you have like one Zoom call and then another Zoom call. It's great for that. One of the reasons why I like to use naan for this is because it's the closest. It's nothing like pizza dough, but it's the closest to pizza dough than like any other kind of like bread that you could make a pizza on top of. 10 out of 10. Next! Recipe number 2 is a ramen salad. All you need is a packet of ramen noodles and packaged coleslaw type salad or any really leftover salad that you have in your fridge. Again, it's another recipe where you can just use leftovers. Everything can be made in one bowl, which is amazing. You can also use any dressing that you want that you need to kind of use up, or I'm just going to show you how to make a really basic dressing. So just grab a bowl. We have one. Wow, look at that. I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of olive oil. Whisk that together with some vinegar, soy sauce, garlic powder, and sesame oil. There you have a very basic dressing. Or if you're buying just like a bagged salad kit, you can use whatever dressing comes in that. A little bit of salt, and then you can just add your bagged salad or leftover salad. Give that a toss. Now I just like to crumble the ramen on top. It adds a nice crunchiness. Chances are you have some ramen at home. Kind of these like chunky bits too. I think like years ago I saw this as the recipe for like dorm-friendly meals, which was interesting. I've definitely seen like ramen noodle salad where the noodles are cooked, also very tasty. And then you can go ahead, give it a little taste for flavor, and if you feel like it needs more flavor, you can add the ramen packet. It's like fresh, but it also has ramen noodles in it. Really good if you have some like marinated tofu, crispy tofu, anything left over that you need to use. This is like for when you feel healthy, but you also want ramen. I mean, really what's not to like? It's crunchy, it tastes like sesame seed oil, which is delicious. It took you exactly 2 minutes to make. It's a very oddly satisfying salad. What's fun about these recipes is that you can make like all 3 of them in half an hour. All right, our third recipe under 10 minutes is Frito Pie. So Fritos are vegan. Yay! I don't know if you've ever had Frito Pie, but my dad made me this once when I was younger and it was so good. You pretty much put leftover chili, or I mean you can make chili for it, but I like to do this when I have leftover chili, into a bag of Fritos with this like pickled onion and jalapeno sauce. And then of course, whatever kind of fixins or toppings you want. So let's start with the sauce. Turn that up to high. And in here, I'm going to add water, vinegar, sugar, and salt. I'm gonna mix that around to dissolve the sugar. And we're going to want to bring that to a boil. While you are waiting for your pickling situation, liquid, to boil, and add whatever, or create, or prepare any toppings that you like to use. I like to make just a quick mashed avocado situation, not necessarily guacamole, but it could be if you wanted that. I just like to smash some avocado and throw that right on top. There's so much flavor in this sauce that you don't have to add the extra steps of making guacamole. Now we're going to add in our onions, jalapeno, and we're gonna cook that until the onions are translucent. Don't put your face immediately over top of the pot because it's vinegar. You're gonna get a face full of vinegar. Let that do its thing for a couple of minutes. Go in there, move it around. So usually when you see this done, you see an individual bag of Fritos with the top cut off and you put everything in the bag. When you have a larger bag of Fritos, let's say you're feeding your family or yourself when you're PMSing, and you want a large bag, this is the way I like to open it so that you get a little bit of all the goodness on all of the Fritos. If I was to just open it like this, I'm just gonna get the sauce and whatnot on top. So instead, I like to do a little snip. You don't wanna open it so far that the bag's going to just rip open on its own, but you also, need space to add the good stuff. So it's like a little window. I mean, if this isn't like a PMS food, I really don't know what is. Hey, I'd like to open up a bag of chips and put chili on top and then also guacamole. And then also, can you pickle some onions for me? It's about what I sound like when I'm PMSing. So this recipe I actually was introduced to by my dad. When we were kids, he had a lot of like single dad recipes and single dad food. So it was a lot of like burgers, hot dogs, sloppy joes. And we would get little individual like personal size bags, and he loved to make chili. He had a chili contest at work all the time. He thought of himself as like the king of chili. So we would take the leftover chili, put that in the bag, and then cheese. I wasn't sophisticated enough at this point in my young adolescent food career to add something like pickled onions, but I added that kind of, as I got older, and I love pickled onions. I love jalapenos, but that was the inspiration for this mostly. I don't know where he got it from. I think it's a well-known food, or dish. I don't know, let me know in the comment section. All right, so open up your bag of Fritos and you just wanna, just really slop your chili on top. You're going to want to add more than you think you want just because there's going to be so many Fritos. At this point, you can add whatever toppings that you want. You can add salsa, you can add your caramelized onions and jalapenos. I find that this, like, the vinegar really cuts the richness of the chili, and then the oiliness of the Fritos. And then of course you get some heat from the jalapenos. And then you can add whatever toppings you want. You can add some guacamole or slices of avocado. You can add some salsa, sour cream, whatever your heart desires. Refried beans. We've got some, gotta get a little bit of everything. It's very messy. It's perfect for, like, I mean, really anything. It's like creamy, but crunchy, but tangy, little bit of heat, unreal. You're gonna have to let me know which one of these are your favorite. And if you feel like it, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, that's cool too. I mean, I'll feel bad for you, but it's not my decision to make. And I'll see you next time, bye.